Olaves and Newstead Homework 15 video walkthrough. We're picking up where we left off, so no need for introductions. Let's get right into it. Question 1. What can be inferred about the author's perspective on instant gratification? And here are your answer options. Option A. The author believes that instant gratification is always the best choice for individuals. Option B. The author acknowledges that instant gratification can be tempting, but warns against its negative consequences. Option C. The author considers instant gratification as an effective strategy to combat procrastination. Option D. The author believes that instant gratification is a natural human tendency and should always be prioritized. Okay, the correct answer to question 1 is option B. Now let's break this down. The author, in this passage, tells us that choosing to do fun things immediately, that's what we mean by instant gratification, can be really tempting, right? However, they also tell us that this can often lead to some problems later on. They understand that it's nice to have fun now, but they're also warning us about the downsides, like how it can cause stress, worry, and even poor performance in our schoolwork or other tasks. Question 2. What might be a potential drawback of using blocking software to avoid distractions while working? Let's look at your options. Option A. The software may not be effective in preventing all distractions. Option B. The software may cause the computer to slow down and hinder productivity. Option C. The software may permanently block certain websites, making them inaccessible even when needed. Option D. The software may require regular updates and maintenance, leading to additional work. The correct answer here is option A. Think about it. Even if you put software on your computer to block certain websites that are distracting, there are still other ways we can get sidetracked. The software might help a bit, but it's not a perfect solution because we can always find something else that catches our attention, like our phones or things around us. Question 3. Based on the passage, what could be a potential reason why people procrastinate even when they know it is a bad habit? Here are the choices. Option A. People enjoy the challenge of working under pressure and believe it leads to better results. Option B. People underestimate the negative consequences of procrastination and prioritize immediate enjoyment. Option C. People are not aware of the negative impact of procrastination on their physical and mental well-being. Option D. People have difficulty understanding the concept of delayed gratification and its benefits. The right answer here is option B. The passage explains that many times people will choose something fun to do right away instead of thinking about the bad things that will come later, like the stress it causes. It's like we get caught up in the fun of the moment and don't really think about how procrastinating can cause even bigger problems down the road. Question 4. What is the author's primary intention in discussing the scenario of choosing between a bag of chips and making a sandwich? And here are your options. Option A. To provide an example of a healthy meal option that requires delayed gratification. Option B. To emphasize the importance of having readily available snacks for instant gratification. Option C. To illustrate the concept of instant gratification and its impact on decision-making. Option D. To encourage readers to opt for the sandwich as a healthier alternative to chips. The correct answer is option C. The author uses the example of choosing between chips and making a sandwich to show us how instant gratification affects our choices. The chips are easy and fast, which gives us that quick reward. But making a sandwich takes more effort but is much better for us in the long run. Question 5. Based on the passage, what can be inferred about the author's view on procrastination as a habit? Let's take a look at our options. Option A. The author believes that procrastination is an inevitable part of human behavior. Option B. The author considers procrastination as a minor issue that does not significantly impact individuals. Option C. The author believes that procrastination can be harmful and should be overcome with effort. Option D. The author sees procrastination as a positive trait that allows individuals to prioritize enjoyable tasks. The correct answer is option C. The author explains that procrastination can lead to stress, feeling guilty, and also poor performance. The passage is clear that while procrastinating is very common, it is a habit that we should try to overcome or improve on. Question 6. What is the main reason why breaking down a large project into smaller tasks can be beneficial? Here are the options to choose from. Option A. It helps individuals avoid difficult or boring aspects of the project. Option B. It ensures that individuals focus on the most enjoyable parts of the project first. Option C. It allows individuals to achieve instant gratification after completing each smaller task. Option D. It makes the overall project feel less overwhelming and more manageable. The right answer here is option D. When a project feels very big, breaking it into smaller pieces makes it easier to get started and actually finish. It makes the whole project seem not as scary or overwhelming, which helps us stay focused. Question 7. What can be inferred about the author's purpose in discussing the consequences of procrastination? Let's see what options we have. Option A. To encourage readers to embrace procrastination as a normal aspect of life. Option B. To dissuade readers from attempting to overcome procrastination due to its negative impact. Option C. To warn readers about the potential harmful consequences of procrastination. Option D. To provide a humorous perspective on the consequences of procrastination. The correct answer is option C. The author explains that putting things off can lead to things like stress, anxiety, and doing poorly on work. The passage is a warning to us about these negative effects, and it encourages us to try and not procrastinate. Question 8. The phrase 95% of people have procrastinated at least once serves to, and here are our options. Option A. Emphasize the rarity of procrastination among the general population. Option B. Support the argument that procrastination is a common human behavior. Option C. Highlight the need for further research on procrastination in different demographics. Option D. Indicate that procrastination is a recently discovered psychological phenomenon. The correct answer is option B. That number, 95%, shows us that procrastination is something that almost everyone experiences. It helps to show us that procrastinating is normal, but that doesn't mean it's something that is good for us. Question 9. What can be inferred about the intended audience for this passage? Here are the options. Option A. Individuals struggling with chronic procrastination. Option B. Researchers studying human behavior and decision-making. Option C. Parents seeking strategies to combat procrastination in their children. Option D. Students looking for ways to improve their time management skills. The correct answer here is option D. The passage is written in a way that gives advice on how to manage our time and not procrastinate so much. This suggests that students who are trying to get better at time management are the main audience of this passage. Question 10. What is the author's tone when discussing the negative consequences of procrastination? We have a few options. Option A is casual and lighthearted. Option B is concerned and cautionary. Option C is complacent and indifferent. And option D is cynical and skeptical. The correct answer is option B, concerned and cautionary. This means that when the author talks about the bad things that can happen when you procrastinate, they are doing so in a way that shows they're worried about it and want to warn you. They are not being casual or uninterested, but rather, they're trying to make sure you understand the seriousness of putting things off. Now let's move on to the math section. Question 11. Round 74 to the nearest 10. The correct answer is 70. When we round to the nearest 10, we have to look at the digit in the ones place. If it's 5 or more, we round up. If it's 4 or less, we round down. Since the number in the ones place for 74 is a 4, we round down. So 74 rounded to the nearest 10 becomes 70. Question 12. Round 852 to the nearest 100. The correct answer is 900. When rounding to the nearest 100, we look at the number in the tens place. If it's 5 or more, we round up to the next 100. Since the number in the tens place for 852 is a 5, we round up. So 852 rounded to the nearest 100 becomes 900. Question 13. Round 1483 to the nearest 100. The correct answer is 1500. Again, we are looking at the tens digit. In this case, it's an 8, which means that 83 is more than 50, so we round up to the next 100, which is 1500. Question 14. Round 3.6 to the nearest whole number. The correct answer is 4. When rounding to the nearest whole number, we look at the number in the tenths place. That's the first number after the decimal point. If it is 5 or more, we round up to the next whole number. Since it is a 6, which is greater than 5, we round up, so 3.6 rounds up to 4. Question 15. Work out -8 plus 3. The correct answer is -5. When we add a positive number to a negative number, we're moving closer to 0 on the number line. If we start at -8 and move 3 spaces in the positive direction, we end up at -5. Question 16. In February, the highest temperature in Ballycastle was 11 degrees Celsius. The lowest temperature was 20 degrees lower than the highest temperature. Work out the lowest temperature in Ballycastle in February. The correct answer is minus 9 degrees Celsius. To find the lowest temperature, we have to subtract 20 from 11. So 11 minus 20 is negative 9. This means the lowest temperature in February was 9 degrees below zero. Question 17. Daisy's bank account balance is negative 14 pounds. Daisy deposits 35 pounds into the account. Work out Daisy's new bank account balance. The correct answer is 21 pounds. When you deposit money, that means you are adding to your account. So we need to add 35 to negative 14. If we have a debt of 14 pounds and then add 35 pounds, we have 21 pounds. Question 18. Here are the first 5 terms of a linear sequence: 7, 11, 15, 19, 23. Write down the next 2 terms of the sequence. The correct answers are 27 and 31. The pattern is that we are adding 4 each time. So we add 4 to 23, which gives us 27. Then we add 4 again to 27, which gives us 31. Question 19. Here are the first 5 terms of a linear sequence: 3, 9, 15, 21, 27. Write down the next term of the sequence. The correct answer is 33. In this pattern, we're adding 6 each time, so we add 6 to 27, which gives us 33. Question 20. Each table can fit a maximum of 4 chairs. Once tables are pushed together, the chairs where the tables join can no longer be placed. Complete the table below with the correct number of chairs for each number of tables. The correct answers are 8 and 10. With 1 table, we have 4 chairs. When 2 tables are put together, there are 6 chairs. With 3 tables, there are 8 chairs, and with 4 tables, there are 10 chairs. Each time when we add a new table, we only add 2 new chairs, as we lose 2 chairs when they join. Okay, let's continue with the verbal section, picking up right where we left off, and we'll go through each question carefully like we're learning together. Question 21. Pick up the right option from the alternatives to complete the series: TDY, PHW, NJV, LLU. The options are option A, RFX, option B, SFU, option C, SFX, option D, RFU. The correct answer to question 21 is option A, RFX. Explanation. Now let's look at how we got to that answer. The pattern here is a consistent shift in the letters. If you look at each letter in the sequence, you'll notice that the first letter of each group goes down by 2 letters each time, the second letter goes up 2 letters, and the third letter goes down by 1 letter. Following this shift pattern, the correct missing term is RFX. It fits perfectly within the sequence. Question 22. Arrange the phrases given below in the correct order to make a meaningful sentence, and select the correct order from the options. He is 1. Q. Analyzes it logically. R. A prudent inference. S. Present scenario. And T. Which correctly estimates the options are option A, RPTSQ, option B, SPTQR, option C, RSQPT, option D, RPSQT. The correct answer to question 22 is option A, RPTSQ. Explanation. So the trick here is to find the order that makes the most sense when you read the phrases together as a sentence. The correct order creates a grammatically correct and meaningful sentence. If we rearrange the phrases to RPTSQ, it reads, a prudent inference is one which correctly estimates the present scenario and analyzes it logically. This order ensures a clear and logical flow. Question 23. If the code for rain in a certain language is 9034 and that of near is 4709, then the code for iron must contain. The options are option A, 3, option B, 7, option C, 9, option D, 0. The correct answer to question 23 is option C, 9. Explanation. In this question, we are looking for common letters and their corresponding numbers. If you observe carefully, you'll see that the letter R appears in both rain and near, and in both cases, it's coded as the number 9. Since R is also an iron, it's clear that the number 9 must be part of iron's code. Question 24. 48 to 24. 36. The options are option A, 18, option B, 9, option C, 14, option D, 63. The correct answer to question 24 is option A, 18. Explanation. This question uses a simple pattern of division. The symbol means is the same as. So the question is saying 48 is related to 24 the same way 36 is related to what? To get from 48 to 24, we divide by 2. Applying that same rule to 36, we also divide it by 2, which gives us 18. Therefore, the correct answer is 18. Question 25. Chisel is related to sculptor in the same way as hammer is related to. The options are option A, carpenter, option B, mason, option C, plumber, option D, blacksmith. The correct answers to question 25 are option A, carpenter, or option D, blacksmith. Explanation. This question is about understanding the tools people use in different professions. A chisel is a tool used by a sculptor. Similarly, a hammer is a tool commonly used by both carpenters and blacksmiths. Both professions use hammers as essential tools, which means either answer is correct. Question 26. Identify the missing number to complete the series 6, 12, 19, 27, 36, 57. The options are option A, 46, option B, 43, option C, 49, option D, 48. The correct answer to question 26 is option A, 46. Explanation. Let's find the pattern of this sequence. The difference between 6 and 12 is 6. Then, the difference between 12 and 19 is 7. Between 19 and 27 is 8, and between 27 and 36 is 9. So each time the number added goes up by 1. The last difference was 9, so adding 10 to 36 gives you 46. Question 27. Complete the letter series by selecting the correct option, F, H, K, M, P, R, Z, B. The options are option A, VW, option B, UW, option C, TW, option D, TV. The correct answer to question 27 is option B, UW. Explanation. In this question, we need to identify the pattern in the letter pairs. The difference in letters is that each first letter goes up by 5 letters, and so does the second letter. If we do that to PR, adding 5 to P gets us U, and adding 5 to R gets us W, so the missing pair is UW. Question 28. Complete the letter series by choosing a suitable option from the alternatives. K, B, E, L, C, F, N, E, H, O, F, I. The options are option A, M, E, G, option B, M, D, H, option C, M, D, G, option D, M, E, H. The correct answer to question 28 is option C, M, N, D, G. Explanation. If we look at this letter series carefully, we'll find a pattern. The first letter goes up by 1 each time, the second also goes up by 1, and the third letter goes up by 1 as well. Following that pattern, if we apply it to LCF, the next triplet will be MDG. Question 29. Arrange the phrases given below in correct order to make a meaningful sentence, and select the correct order from the options. P is an admirable trait that Q, others, R, from an early childhood, S, listening to, T, must be nurtured. The options are option A, Q, P, T, S, R, option B, Q, P, S, R, T, option C, S, P, R, T, Q, option D, S, Q, P, T, R. The correct answer to question 29 is option D, SQPTR. Explanation. Let's piece together these phrases to create a coherent sentence. The correct order is SQPTR, which forms the sentence. Listening to others is an admirable trait that must be nurtured from an early childhood. This arrangement gives a clear and logical statement. Question 30 asks us to find the missing number in a series. The series we are given is 7, 13, 21, 31, and then we have a question mark, which means we need to find the next number. We have 4 options for the answer. Option A is 37, option B is 51, option C is 43, and option D is 52. The correct answer is option C, which is 43. Now let's look at how we got that answer. The numbers in this series increase by a pattern of consecutive even numbers. This means that the difference between the numbers gets bigger by 2 each time. Let's look at the first 2 numbers, 7 and 13. The difference between them is 6, because 7 plus 6 is 13. Next, we have 13 and 21. The difference between them is 8, because 13 plus 8 is 21. Notice how the difference has increased by 2, going from 6 to 8. Then, We have 21 and 31. The difference here is 10 because 21 plus 10 is 31. Again, we see the difference has increased by 2, going from 8 to 10. So following this pattern, the next difference needs to be 12. Therefore, to find the missing number, we add 12 to 31. When we add 12 to 31, we get 43. So the missing number in the series is 43, which is option C.
So now I'm going to be going through the answers to the MVR section of this homework. So for the first question, as you can see, these black dots are going down diagonally like that. So in the next two, the dots will be round about here, like that. And as you can see, when the dot is inside the shape flips 180 degrees and is now upside down compared to the other shapes, as you can see from these two that I've circled. So because this one, the dot here looks like it's going to be in one of these shapes, we've got to flip that shape upside down now when we draw it. So this shape will be normal, but this one will be upside down. This one looks like it's going to be in the gap, so we don't need to flip these shapes up. They can stay their normal way up like this, and the triangles will also be fine. So that's why the answer is D. This one is upside down. We've got the dot here and the dot here, and everything else is fine. Next question. So here, so in this question, the answer is B. And the reason why the answer is B is because when you have this shape here and this one and fold it, this one will end up being next to these because it's on the complete opposite side of this one. So this one I've done in blue here, that'll be opposite to this one, so it'll be on the other side. And because this one is next to the blue one, it will be next to the cross shape, this one. So the line will be here, and that's why the answer is B. Next question. So here, as you can see in each box, we've got an L shape. Got these L shapes in all of them. So in the missing square, there has to be an L shape. So that's why we can rule out A, F, and G, and H, because these are lines, but they're not an L shape, just an L shape. So, yeah. And here, the answer is E. And the reason why it's E, so I'll just draw it in here, is because in each row, there's two L shapes that are the same. So here we've got this one and this one. Here we've got this one and this one. And also we've got another shape that is the same as well. So like we've got this line here in the first row. And then we've got this line, even though it's orientated differently. And then here we've got these two shapes that are the same. So then we've got to have either that L shape or the line. And we know the missing square has got to have an L shape. So we've got to have two sets of shapes that are the same in each row. So here we have this blue one, and we've got to have another blue one like that. So that's why the answer is E. Next question. So we've got this shape, and it becomes like that. And what's happened to that is it's is sort of reflected. Sorry, I'll do it this way actually. So let's pretend the mirror line is here, and we just moved it back a bit. So as you can see, that's the same shape, just reflected. So we've got to reflect this shape. So let's just do the mirror line here. So there, we reflected that. Now let's go on to the other shape. So here we have a pentagon, and we have this pentagon here, and what's happened to that is that's rotated 90 degrees anti-clockwise and is now on top of the other shape. So here we've got this triangle, and that's now gonna be on top of the shape here. So that's why the answer is E. Next question. So here we have this square, which is a 4-sided shape, and then triangle, which is a 3-sided shape, so it's -1. And then here we have this pentagon, which is a 5-sided shape, and here we have a hexagon, which is a 6-sided shape. So the inside shape minus is 1. So here we have this pentagon, which is 5 sides, so the inside shape will be a square, 4 sides, and the outside shape will be +1. So here it's 4 sides, so here it'll be 5 sides. So that's why the answer is C. Next question. Here, each circle moves down 1, and then this one moves back to the top. So that's why the black one is now in the 2nd position, and the white one is now 3rd. So in this one, the black one will now be at the bottom. This one with the cross will be 2nd, and then the white one will be at the top. So the answer is D. Here I've already drawn the lines in different colours to make it easier to see. And this one is a bit of a difficult one. But basically, the pink lines, for most of them, are going in sort of this direction, apart from B, E, and D. And the blue lines are going in sort of this direction for all of them, apart from E and D. And then the green lines are going in all of them, apart from E and F. So as you can see here, E is the one that has a different line going in a different direction out for all 3 of the lines. So that's why E is the odd one out. Next question. So here we've got these black circles, and what's happening to these is they're moving around the triangle in a clockwise direction, and so is the white circle. It's moving in a clockwise direction on the outside of the triangle. So what comes next, I'll just draw the circle I've done in red, that will end up being here, and then the white one will end up being here. So that's why the answer is C. Then in the next question here, so let's go for each line. So let's start with this line. So as you can see, it's moving anti-clockwise in that direction. So it's going to end up being sort of like that. Now let's go for this line. That's moving in this direction as well, anti-clockwise. So I'd say it's going to end up being sort of like that. And then the bigger curve bit is sort of flipping each time. So here you can see the gaps here, then it's here, then it's here again. So it's kind of gonna be like here with the gap on this side. So the one that looks like that is B. So the answer is B. Next question. So let's look at each line again individually. So let's start with the inside lines. So as you go down the column, the line on the inside of the circle is moving in a anti-clockwise direction. So in this box, let's draw the circle. So here it's like that, then it was like that. So if we move this line in an anti-clockwise direction, it's going to end up going down. Now, let's look at the outside line. So here, it's as you go down, it's also moving in an anti-clockwise direction. So here it's going to be straight like that. So that's why here the answer is F. So yeah, that's it.